Hello, my name is Juan Marino. I'm a graduate research assistant with the Pollution Prevention Team at West Virginia University. In this video, I'll be walking you through the fundamentals of the REAP grant, a USDA program designed to help rural small businesses and agricultural producers reduce their energy costs through energy efficiency improvements or renewable energy projects. Whether you're a business owner or someone assisting with the application process, this video is meant to guide you step by step. You don't need a background in grants or federal programs. I'll keep it straightforward. I'll cover what the REAP grant is, who is eligible, how to begin the process, and the types of support that are available. My goal is to make this information accessible and useful, especially for those who may be new to the grant application process. Here's the overview. I'll start by explaining what REAP is, then talk about eligibility, what projects qualify, and how to get funding, including grants and loan guarantees. I'll also touch on the application timeline and where to go if you need help. The Rural Energy for America program, or REAP, offers grant funding and guaranteed loans. It's specifically for rural small businesses and agricultural producers. You can apply to fund energy efficiency upgrades or renewable energy systems, things like better lighting, HVAC systems, equipment upgrades, and more. There are several important steps. First, check if you're eligible. Then if you're doing an energy efficiency project, you will need an energy audit. After that, get quotes for your project. Register with sam.gov to get your Unique Entity ID, or UEI, and complete the required forms. Finally, submit your application before the deadline. So who is eligible? If you're a small business located in a rural area or an agricultural producer making at least 50% of your income from your operation, you can apply. That includes private for profits like sole proprietors and corporations, cooperatives, rural electric utilities, and tribal entities. The key is you must meet the SBA, which stands for Small Business Administration, size standards and have no outstanding federal debts or judgments. Now, a quick note on location. Small businesses must be in rural areas with populations under 50,000. And if you're in West Virginia, you're covered. If you're an agricultural producer, your project doesn't have to be in a rural area as long as it supports your production. Scan this QR code to check if you're eligible for REAP grant and for eligible rural areas. Let's talk about funding. For energy efficiency projects, you can receive between $1,500 and $500,000. For renewable energy projects, between $2,500 and $1 million. The REAP grant can cover up to 50% of eligible project costs. If you combine it with a loan guarantee, that could bring total support up to 75%. Remember, some of this may change depending on USDA updates, so always double check the latest guidance. You can use these funds to install energy efficient upgrades like HVAC systems, insulation, lighting, refrigeration, better doors and windows, or replacing inefficient equipment. The funds can also cover renewable energy systems like solar panels, wind turbines, hydropower, biomass, geothermal, and even ocean energy systems. Both small and large-scale systems can be eligible. Loan fees apply if you're interested in taking a loan guarantee. There's an upfront fee of 1% and an annual retention fee of 0.25% on the remaining loan amount. Other fees depend on your lender. Interest rates are set between you and your lender. They can be fixed or variable. Just know that if it's variable, the rate can only change once per quarter, not more than that. A couple of rules. If you're applying as an individual, you must be a U.S. citizen or legal resident. If it is a business entity, the project has to be based in the U.S. and the money must stay in the U.S. Some projects, like the ones that are zero emission or located in energy communities, may qualify for the full 50% grant. Others are capped at 25%. You will also need matching funds if applying for a grant, and your project must use reliable, proven technology. Remember, grant percentages, eligible amounts, and deadlines are subject to change. Always check the USDA REAP website or reach out to us directly if you have any questions. If you're applying for energy efficiency improvements, you'll need an energy audit. That means assessing how much energy your building or equipment uses now and where savings can happen. You must use a certified provider, like someone listed through the Department of Energy. Our pollution prevention WVU team offers these audits for $250 or less, and they meet all REAP guidelines. Before you apply, you need to register your business at sam.gov. This is required for all federal funding. You'll receive a UEI, which is part of the registration. Here's the process. First, go to www.sam.gov and create an account. Then register your business. During that process, you will be assigned your UEI. Submit your information and make sure to keep it updated. Start this step early. It can take several weeks to process. Double check your business name, your tax identification number, and your address. Make sure everything matches. And if you run into any problems, use the help section or reach out for support. Now, before we wrap up this introductory video, let's go over the main forms you will need to submit when applying for the REAP grant. First, there's Form 4280, which comes in 3 versions depending on your project size. 4283A is for projects under $80,000. 4283B is for projects between $80,000 and $200,000. 4283C is for projects over $200,000. This is your main REAP application, and the version you use depends entirely on your total project cost. You will also need to submit the SF 424, which is the standard federal assistance application form. Form 424C, which outlines your project's budget. Form 424D, which confirms that your project complies with federal construction standards. And the environmental checklist, which helps USDA assess the environmental impact of your project. All of these forms are available online as PDFs. Thanks for watching this introduction. In the next video, we'll walk you through the specific forms and supporting documents depending on your project size. In this section, I will go over how to complete Form SF424 for a REAP application of $200,000 and greater. This example is for a high-efficiency furnace upgrade project. To start, in Field 1, check Application if this is your official submission. Only check Changed or Corrected Application if you're resubmitting an updated version. In Field 2, mark New for a first-time request. If it's a revision or a continuation of a previous application, indicate so and specify the reason with the appropriate letter codes. Leave Field 3 and 4 blank. Rural development staff will fill in the date, and you may use an internal ID in the applicant identifier box if needed, but it's optional. Leave Field 5A and 5B blank for a new application. Only fill them if this is a revision or a continuation of an existing award. Box 6 and 7 are completed by the state. You do not need to fill anything in here. In box 8A, enter your business legal name exactly as it appears in your sam.gov registration. It must match IRS records. Field 8B is for your employer identification number. Field 8C is for your unique entity ID from sam.gov. Both of these numbers are required. In field 8D, fill in your business address, including SIP plus 4 postal code. If you don't have a SIP plus 4 postal code, enter 4 zeros in that section. Field 8E is optional. You can include your department name if applicable, such as facilities or energy projects. In 8F, enter the name and contact details of the person responsible for the application. Make sure the phone and email are accurate. Field 9, labeled Type of Applicant, is a required field where applicants must indicate the type of organization applying for assistance. If you're a small business, select R for small business. In field 10, enter Rural Business Cooperative Service, USDA. In field 11, enter 10.868 for the REAP program. The Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance title is Rural Energy for America Program. For field 12, use the funding opportunity number shown in the slide. And the title is, again, Rural Energy for America Program. You can leave field 13 blank, unless your state office has specified otherwise. Field 14 is intended for use only by programs for which the area or areas affected are likely to be different than the place of performance reported. In field 15, please write a clear and descriptive project title. For our case, something like High Efficiency Furnace Upgrade for Energy Optimization at XYZ Manufacturing Facility can work. Attach supporting documents if appropriate. In field 16, A and B, enter the state and district of your business, such as WV002. Use the same code for both 16A and 16B, and attach an additional list of program or project congressional districts if needed. In field 17A and B, enter your planned start and end date. Make sure they fall within their current REAP funding window. In box 18, enter the grant amount you're requesting. Use the other boxes to show matching funds from you or other sources. Totals must reflect your full project cost. For field 19, check box C. The REAP program is not subject to Executive Order 1237-2. For field 20, answer truthfully. If your business is not behind on any federal debts, select no. The person legally authorized to submit this application signs here. Include full contact details and ensure that authorization is on file. Double check all information. Make sure your business name, your UEI, and project title match across all forms. Use black ink or type text and avoid leaving required fields blank. Now we will discuss Form 4283C, required for REAP projects with total cost of $200,000 or more. I'll walk you through each section specifically for a high-efficiency furnace upgrade project. In field 1A, list the applicant's legal name, which should match Block 8A of SF-424 form. In field 1B, indicate the race of the applicant. In 1C and D, indicate the gender and the ethnicity of the applicant. In field 1E and F, check if the applicant is a veteran. Also indicate if the applicant is a member of a socially disadvantaged group. In field 2, the applicant must provide the title of the project, which is same as stated in Form SF-424. In our case, the title of the project is High Efficiency Furnace Upgrade for Energy Optimization, and this matches Form SF-424. In field 3, please provide your UEI, Unique Entity Identifier. This number you got after SAM registration. In field 4, the applicant must provide the title of the project. In field 4, please provide the name for the executive director and person who will be accepting or distributing federal funds from the grant. In field 5, the applicant must indicate the type of business they own, if it's an agricultural producer or rural small business. Provide the required NAICS code if you know, or go to this link to find the NAICS code for your business. In field 6A, the applicant must describe the project's relationship to the applicant's operations. Describe how the project fits into or operates separately from the applicant's overall business or agricultural production operation. For example, the applicant owns and operates a tool manufacturing facility where the furnace upgrade will directly enhance heat treatment processes, reducing energy cost and improving production efficiency. In field 6B, explain how the applicant owns the project and/or controls the site of the project. You can say something like, the applicant owns both the project and the site, maintaining full control over operations. Ownership will continue through the project lifespan, ensuring long-term oversight and management. Field 6C. Here, describe for each entity the applicant controls or is controlled by. Provide a list of owners with contact information. Field 6D. Here, indicate if the applicant is a tribal entity, owned or operated by a federally recognized tribe. If so, state the name of the tribe and where the project will take place. For this section, the applicant must provide the business financial records, income statements, and balance sheets for the last 3 years. This helps USDA confirm that the business is financially stable enough to complete the project. Here, include your most recent income statement and balance sheet, covering the current year to date. Also, include a pro forma balance sheet at the project startup, and balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow projections for year 1 and year 2 operations. In this section, you must identify the type of energy project being funded. If your project is an energy efficiency improvement project, check this box. If your project is a renewable energy system that does not emit greenhouse gases, check the respective box. If your project is a renewable energy system that emits greenhouse gases, check this box. And if your project is a hybrid type of 2 or more technologies supporting one single system, Select technologies above and give a short description of how they work together. In field 7E, briefly explain what the project does. Mention location, scope, and benefit. For example, XYC Tool Manufacturing, located in Morgantown, West Virginia, plans to upgrade its heat treatment process by replacing 6 aging gas-fired batch furnaces with high-efficiency, custom-built slot forge furnaces. This upgrade aims to enhance energy efficiency, reduce natural gas consumption, and lower operation costs while maintaining production throughput. In section 7F, describe what will be installed or constructed. For example, the furnace upgrade project is designed to meet all safety, efficiency, and regulatory standards. The custom-built slot forge hearth furnaces incorporate advanced combustion technology, ensuring precise temperature control and uniform heating. In field 7G, briefly describe the main equipment being installed. In field 7G, briefly describe the main equipment being installed and its purpose. For example, the project involves installing a custom-built slot forge hearth gas furnace designed for continuous heat treatment of metal parts, enhancing efficiency and precision. The furnaces are manufactured to meet ASME and FPA standards, ensuring compliance and reliability. In this section, list the major construction-related costs such as equipment, labor, and other project expenses. List total project cost and grant request. Break down costs into materials, labor, equipment. Make sure you use the same numbers as in the SF 424C. Include costs incurred after the full application is submitted. Provide details for any known ineligible project costs. This could be feasibility studies, research and development costs, admin expenses, etc. This section is only applicable to renewable energy system. For energy efficiency projects, you're required to calculate simple payback. This is total project cost over annual energy cost savings. In this section of the form, the applicant must provide all the information about the service providers that will be working to construct and install the project, such as energy auditor, site assessor, contractor, installer, electrician, just to name a few. The applicant must also provide the qualifications of the service provider by either attaching the resume or filling in the information below. In section 9, mark the box to ensure that a technical report is attached. Describe necessary agreements and permits required for the project and the anticipated schedule for securing those agreements and permits. In 9B, provide adequate and appropriate data to demonstrate the amount of renewable resource available. In section 9B2, indicate if an online tool was used to estimate the energy savings or research potential of the project. List the name of the tool used and ensure the relevant output or documentation is attached. Specify whether external resource references were used to support the project's estimated savings or feasibility. Also include the name of the resource, such as utility company energy reports, wine roses, or thematic maps. Here, indicate if specialized tools or evaluations were used directly at the project site to assess energy use or system performance. List any devices or methods used like infrared thermography, submetering, or on-site audits, and include documentation. Confirm whether photographs of the facility or project area have been attached. These should clearly show the current conditions, equipment to be replaced or upgraded, and the physical space where the new system will be installed. Use this other section to list any additional documentation that supports the resource assessment and project justification. This could include energy audit reports, third-party evaluations, feasibility studies, or other technical analysis not already covered in previous sections. In section 9C, list list the major development activities for the proposed project and provide estimated start and end dates for each. Clearly describe the overall project development method, including how competitive procurement will be ensured. In this section, briefly explain how and where the equipment will be sourced and include the expected procurement lead time. Describe how the site will be prepared for installation and who will carry it out. Include any special equipment or safety measures that will be used. Explain the routine and long-term maintenance needs of the system. Make sure you include any necessary procedures to maintain system performance over its expected life. Indicate whether the system includes warranties. Describe how the system's performance will be tracked. This section is only for renewable energy systems applications, not applicable in our case. In section 10, the applicant must fill in the existing usage of energy from the energy assessment audit they received from the energy auditor team. Make sure you check the boxes to agree that you have attached a technical report and an energy audit or energy assessment. In this section, the applicant must fill in the proposed energy usage in kilowatt hours, as provided in the energy audit. This then gets automatically converted into BTUs, or you can manually do it by multiplying the energy used times the conversion factor. This section of the application usually gets completed on its own from all the information provided prior to this section. If it doesn't, just follow the instructions on the slide notes using the information from the energy assessment report and fill it out. Section 10A through C. The applicant must disclose if any farmland is being converted. If yes, provide the size of the farmland in acres. Answer if the project contributes to deforestation or fire hazards. And answer if the project conserves water. If so, explain how much. Field D and E indicate if the project complies with Environmental Protection Agency renewable fuel standards. And indicate if at least 25% of the project components are bio-based. In Field 12, the applicant must disclose all the source of funds for the project, including own funds and if they have taken any loans. In this section of the application, the applicant must disclose any relationship with any employee of rural development staff. Here, indicate if you have received any previous funding under the REAP program. Check the box to certify whether the applicant is in good standing or not. In this section, confirm that all USDA REAP program requirements are met by checking each box. By checking certification A, it means you are either an agricultural producer earning over 50% of your gross income from agricultural operations, or a rural small business as defined by SBA size standards. Certification B is for energy efficiency improvement. The project must reduce energy use compared to the existing equipment or building. In certification C, you are certifying that the project will use only commercially available technology as defined in 7 CFR 4280-103. Certification D is about not starting anything before the USDA gives the green light. If you do, you could lose eligibility. In certification E, the applicant is certifying that the construction planning and project development will follow USDA's regulations. In certification F, the applicant certifies that they will maintain the insurance required by USDA. Check this box in certification G to confirm that the equipment for the project is available, can be purchased and delivered on time, and will be installed according to the manufacturer's specifications. In certification H, you certify that the project will be constructed following all applicable laws, regulations, permits, codes, and standards. Certification I only applies to bioenergy projects and does not apply to typical energy efficiency improvements. This box should be unchecked. The applicant must attach all the necessary documents as listed. This section is where the applicant certifies that all the information and documentation submitted is accurate and complete. It confirms compliance with the conditions outlined in sections 13 through 17 of this application. In this section, I will walk you through the environmental checklist form that's part of the REAP application. This checklist ensures our project complies with environmental requirements on the USDA guidelines. Let's go step by step through this form. Field 1 and 2 ask for the applicant's name and the exact physical location of the project. It must include the full address, latitude and longitude coordinates, and a legal description like tax map or parcel number to ensure proper environmental assessment. This section is to confirm that the photos and a site map are attached. These should clearly show the building and its exact location. If there's any trenching or electrical work involved, it should be marked on the map using tools like Google Maps or GIS software. Field 4, briefly describe what the funds will be used for. Say exactly what's being upgraded and where. If it's only interior work with no ground disturbance, make sure you make that clear. Here, indicate the size of the project and its impact on the site, including roads, rights-of-ways, utilities, or other impacts, if any. In Section 6 and 6A, check No if the project does not involve construction or changes to land. Provide land ownership and describe how it is currently used and what is around it. In 6B, if the project involves digging or ground disturbance, explain here what kind and include if the project site was previously disturbed. In this section, write the official zoning designation for your property. This can be found on your local county or city zoning map or by calling your planning office. Enter age of building. Also, indicate if the project is near a structure that is at least 50 years old. If you're unsure about this, use Google Earth or your local property records website to check for your nearby construction dates. Then select Yes if your building or site is officially listed on the state or national register of historic places. If yes, attach documentation. And if no, check No and continue. Answer yes only if the building is over 50 years old, near a historic site or on the register, and you have State Historic Preservation Office approval. If no, move on. If tribes or tribal historic preservation officers have been contacted, check yes. Attach any documentation and summarize any responses in the box below. If no, check No and continue. In Section 13, check if the project is within a designated historic district. Attach any supporting documentation and summarize feedback or approval. If no, check No and move on. In Field 14, you need to go to the IPAC website. Generate a report for your project location and attach the report to your application. After seeing your report, check Yes if there are any threatened or endangered species or critical habitats within the area, and briefly explain in the box below. For Field 15, mark Yes if the project will involve cutting or trimming any trees, and give detail in the box below. If no, you can check No and move on. If Yes was selected in the previous question and applicable, confirm whether tree clearing can avoid critical timeframes for wildlife. If no, you can explain briefly and then move on. For Section 16, check Yes if the project is near or may affect a wetland. If yes, attach a wetlands map. And if no, just check No and move on. To double check, you can use the mapper, the National Wetlands Inventory, or the Web Soil Survey. If you answered yes to 16, note if permits are issued. Attach documentation. And if no, you can check No and just continue. For Section 17, check yes if the project is in or near a 100 or 500-year floodplain. Use the FEMA map or check the Web Soil Survey. Make sure you attach documentation. For Field 18, check yes if the project is near parks, monuments, landmarks, wild scenic rivers, or protected lands. If yes, attach a map and explain in 18A whether a land agency was contacted. If no, check the box and continue. If you're an inland project, you can check no in field 19 and move on. For section 20, check yes if the project is on or near prime, important, or unique farmland. Use the Web Soil Survey or NRCS FPPA site. For field 20A, answer yes if the NRCS has completed land evaluation and site assessment for the site. Make sure you attach documentation. For field 20B, answer yes if the project helps save or offset energy use for a farm or agriculture producer and attach a letter. Mark yes if the project involves storing, processing, or disposing of hazardous materials like waste, incineration, recovery, among others. And briefly describe materials and the processes involved. For section 22, check yes if a phase 1 ESA has been completed. This is typically needed if loan is over $100,000 and the agency will hold the real estate as collateral. Make sure you attach documentation. Section 23, check yes if hazardous substances or petroleum have been released on the property and explain. If no, check the box no and continue. Check yes if there's an underground tank on the property and describe the tank. If no, check no and continue. For field 25, mark yes if above ground storage tanks are on the property. If yes, check if they're in secondary containment. And if no, check the box and move on. Mark yes if the project could emit or release hazardous materials, pollutants, petroleum, or natural gas without permits. If yes, explain what and how. If no, check the box and move on. For section 27, mark yes if the project involves new construction and may affect aquifers, wellhead protection areas, or watershed protection areas. If yes, describe what resources impacted and how. If no, just check and continue. For field 28, answer yes if you're aware of any environmental concerns, opposition, or disputes related to the project. If yes, briefly explain the concern. And if no, just check and move on. In section 29, check yes if the project might negatively impact minority or low-income communities. Note, the tool EPA EJ screen nor USDA policy are available. Mark yes if the facility is connected to a municipal wastewater system. If no, describe the existing on-site system and its capacity. In field 31, mark yes if the facility is connected to a municipal water system. If no, describe the on-site water system and its capacity. In section 32, check yes if the county is in non-attainment or maintenance status per EPA air quality standards. Use an EPA Assist or the EPA Green Book to confirm. Here, enter your full name and title. At the date the form is completed, your signature can be typed or handwritten depending on submission requirements. Now we will go over 424C Budget Information Form for construction programs. This form breaks down all project costs and how we categorize them for the REAP grant. Line 1 is administrative and legal expenses. These cover costs like legal services or admin support. For this project, we didn't have any, so it's 0. Line 2 is land, structures, rights of way, appraisals, etc. This refers to buying land or rights to use the land. Since the furnace upgrades is inside an existing building, no land-related costs apply. Line 3 is for relocation expenses. This would apply if any people or businesses had to move, but it is not relevant here. Line 4 is architectural and engineering fees. These cover design services. Since we're just replacing some furnaces, no engineering work was really required. Line 5, other architectural fees. Things like energy modeling or third-party reviews go here. Again, not needed. Line 6 is for project inspection fees. This is used if a formal inspection is required. We didn't have one for this project, so it's left as 0 or blank. Line 7 is site work. That means grading, excavation, or paving. No outdoor work in this case. Line 8 for demolition and removal costs. This applies if we tore anything down. Nothing was demolished in our project, so it is left as blank or 0. Line 9 is construction cost. This includes labor. The installation cost will be included here, if any. As you can see, this applies to the project. $246,600,000 was spent on labor to install the furnaces. Line 10 is for equipment. This line covers the cost of materials or equipment. In this project, $135,000 was spent on the new furnaces. Line 11 is for miscellaneous. This is a catch-all for small costs that don't fit elsewhere. Line 12 is subtotal. This is the total of all direct costs from lines 1 through 11. Ours comes down to be $381,600. Line 13 is for contingencies. These are funds reserved for unexpected costs. We didn't include any here, so it's left as blank. Line 14 is subtotal. This is the full cost of the project, including contingency, if any. In our case, it remains the same. Line 15 is the project income. If the project generates money during construction, you must list it here. In our case, it's not applicable. Line 16 is the total project costs. This is your final project cost after subtracting any project income. In our case, since we didn't have any project income, it remains the same. The total project cost is equal as line 14, subtotal. Line 17 is the federal assistance requested. We are requesting a grant of 50% of total costs. That comes out to be $190,800 for this project. In this section, we will go over Form 424D. This is the assurances for construction programs. It is required when applying for federal funding that involves any kind of construction or installation work, like lighting upgrade, for example. It lists the federal laws and regulations that your project needs to follow. You're not filing anything outline by line here, just signing to confirm that you understand and agree to comply with those rules if your project is approved. The first field is for the signature of the authorized certifying official. This should be someone with the legal authority to make commitments on behalf of your business or organization. It's usually the same person who signs the main application form, SF 424. Next is the title field, where you input the job title of the person signing the form, like owner, CEO, president, or similar. Applicant organization field. This must exactly match the name of the business or applicant shown in field 8A of your SF 424 form. If submitted through grants.gov, the form is signed electronically upon submission. The last required field is the date submitted. Enter the same date your application package is submitted. Make sure all these fields are accurate because this form confirms your compliance with federal construction regulations. Now, we will cover how USDA evaluates REAP applications. After initial screening for completeness, your project is scored based on a 100-point system. Here's how those points break down. Energy generated, saved, or replaced, 25 points. Previous REAP funding history, 15 points. Length of payback period, 15 points. Location in a disadvantaged or distressed area, 15 points. Your share of matching funds, 10 points. Environmental benefits, 10 points. Discretionary points from the state director, 10 points. These scores determine your project's competitiveness, so keep them in mind when preparing your application. Once applications are scored, a review committee ensures fairness and consistency. From there, the highest scoring projects are selected for funding. USDA also tries to balance funding across sectors and regions. Timing-wise, application processing usually takes 30 to 90 days after the submission window closes. Once selections are made, you will be notified of the outcome within 30 days. So expect the full process to take around 2 to 4 months from the date you submit. Here are some helpful resources to support your application. The REAP Application Process Guide, USDA's How-To series, Energy Investment Map and Energy Matrix, vendor certification templates for renewable energy efficiency projects, the map tool to check if your location qualifies as disadvantaged or distressed. All of these links can clarify the application steps and make sure you're checking all the boxes. If you need help with your application, you can reach out to our WVU Pollution Prevention Team. We provide low to no cost assistance with energy assessments and REAP applications. Contact Dr. Ashish Nimbarte or Dr. Christopher Moore by email. We have officially completed the REAP application walkthrough series. If you have followed along, you should now have all the forms filled out and know what attachments are needed. Thanks for watching, and remember, double check your entire application packet before submission. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.